Welcome back. My name's Todd Graff. This is Damian White, and this is the Gold Spot. All right, Damian. So a lot of big things happening since the election. A lot of ups and downs people are noticing. But what's your take? What do you think the biggest thing to look at right now since the election financially is?
There's a lot going on. Has been a lot going on, for the last couple of years. It seems like we're being bombarded from all sorts of different angles economically. One thing I did think that was interesting is immediately after the election, we got a little bit of a correction in gold, which is giving everybody a really good buying opportunity. I mean, the asset was up about close to 40% on the year. The typical sell the news event, the election, everyone had a little bit of relief one way or the other, how things turned out. We got a little pullback of almost a couple $100. So it's kind of giving our clients and other people that are looking to get involved in gold after such a tremendous run, giving them that opportunity. But one thing I believe that maybe is the most important element going on right now that people aren't talking about is that the financial markets, the gold markets, stock markets, bond markets, they've all been anticipating a series of rate cuts by the Federal Reserve as we're starting to see inflation subsiding a little bit. And whether or not that sticks is going to be a big question. We could see a resurgence of inflation. But what happened a couple weeks back is the Federal Reserve cut their rates again. But now what we're seeing from the bond market, which is the biggest debt market on the world, really the biggest asset class in the world, is the bond market is doing the opposite. The bond market is now going up. I mean, the Fed's cut rates over 0.75%, I think, in the last couple of meetings combined. And we're seeing rates actually go up that equivalent. So it feels like the bond market is kind of forcing the Fed's hand and saying that you are not able to cut rates. Inflation is still here. We had a couple of reports on the consumer price index and the producer price index that came out, I think, a week or so ago. And it showed that inflation is not still coming down, might be starting to trend back up. It's a little bit early to determine that. We need some more data points.
So talk a little bit more about the bond market, Damian.
The bond market, when it starts going up like that, it's basically saying you can't cut rates anymore. And everyone's pricing that in. So I think that one thing could be kind of a potential black swan type of event is that if this continues, they're going to be not able to fund the government debt. Politically, it doesn't matter what side you're on. We still are spending money, and the U.S. government and the Treasury has to continue issuing these bonds. It feels like we're setting up for some kind of a potential debt crisis in the next series of, it's hard to say exactly when, I would say by the first or second quarter of next year. And that could cascade. A lot of people are not prepared for that. They're kind of in a honeymoon phase after the election. And if that starts to transpire, you're going to see a cascading effect reverberate through all the other markets. Equity markets would definitely take a massive impact if you see something like that. So I think that's one thing that people need to really keep their eyes on.
So what steps should people take?
The gold market is on sale right now. It's giving you an opportunity. It's pulled back maybe 8 or 10%. If you're looking to get involved, I think it's really important you start putting those pieces in place prior to 2025. Now, that's only a small segment of the economic. There's a lot of other things going on geopolitically and in other elements around the world. If you want to maybe add on to some of that so we can be all-encompassing on what we're trying to plan for next year.
Yeah, absolutely, Damian. And that's a good point about the bond market. I don't think a lot of people are looking at that. But geopolitically, I think the big thing is Ukraine and Russia. Joe Biden authorized Ukraine to fire long-range missiles into Russia, and that happened yesterday. 6 missiles were fired. So I mean, that's obviously adding more tension to the Middle East and then really to the rest of the world. And I think financially, we're going to see the effects of that as well. Gold is definitely a good place for purchasing right now, and we'd be happy to talk to you about that and talk about the different options. So definitely feel free to reach out. Well, that'll be it, and join us next time on the Gold Spot.
If you enjoyed today's Gold Spot, like or subscribe to both our YouTube and Rumble channels. Also, comment below if you have any questions or if you'd like to hear us talk about a specific topic in a future video.